Chickens are having some oats and sunflower seeds I threw down there. A little bit of chicken food right there. Some leftover rabbit on the bone and some watermelon slices. Made a coop door here which leads to my little run because the chickens just destroy the garden. We had seems like 2 months of drought. So a lot of the garden was not looking good. Then we got some great rain and the garden looked good. And now it's been pretty dry again. Over here I have like a patch of amaranth. Mostly amaranth here. And some weeds. Some cowpeas. Some bug is eating a lot of the amaranth, but not before I get some of it. So amaranth is my new summer green that I like to grow. This right here, I believe, is millet. So I'm hoping to get giant productive seed heads off of these for the chickens. A lot of my beds aren't doing too much right now. Summer in Florida is a time for perennials. So it's when my papayas and my moringa and bananas and katuk right here and shaya start doing very well. Oh, and cassava. This big guy I'll be harvesting shortly. Cassava has an edible root. I expect several meals off this one. Got another moringa patch here. That is Mimosa strigolosa down there as a ground cover. Didn't do anything for what seemed like a year, and this year it's really taken off. So I'm hoping to have that all over my yard. I'm going to keep propagating it. Got a bunch of cranberry hibiscus in these pots over here. Cranberry hibiscus is another summer green you can grow. Has a kind of tart, appley taste, high in vitamin C. You can grow it straight in the sand. So, and then my two herb beds have not been doing too well. So I got a bunch of weeds in there, mostly. I think this is the echinacea flower here, and a mamey sapote. There's some herb. There's a little bit of herbs down there. I think that's oregano. I got some marigolds growing around, of course. Marigolds do great in the summer. Rosemary's still hanging on in various parts of the garden. I'm trying to grow morning glories and pole beans and squash up this trellis, and got some bug that likes to cut the beans off near the bottom, leaving a giant dead vine growing up. But pole beans are doing all right so far, and it looks like I got a squash up there, and I did have a morning glory, and it looks like it died. Most of my mint died over there. Still got a little bit hanging on. You can't even really see it though. This bed was looking very good, but my squash just always keep dying for various reasons, mostly pickle worms. I do have some okra that have been somewhat productive, and some tomatoes that are on stakes there. And here I got a clump of papayas and a little cassava at the bottom, and a chaya and an old coffee can. And here I have a Barbados cherry that is next to a little papaya and a Mexican sunflower. This Barbados cherry is going to get huge. Probably needs a little bit more room than it's getting right now. And then my best looking fig has been in this pot with good soil. Figs do not like the Florida sand. There's a nematode in here that hurts their roots. And I'm having some decent success with sweet potatoes. I have wild rabbits that come and eat just about all of it for most of the year. So I had to put up this fence, and the sweet potatoes have been going quite well in there. I got this shorter variety. These fat papayas are about level with my face. It'll be a lot easier to check out and harvest. Make sure no bugs get them. I lost a couple papayas this year so far. They just started rotting, and they had larvae of something inside. So as soon as I see them, I just get rid of them. That way the larvae don't reproduce. And I'm hoping that I won't start having to resort to like pantyhose and stuff to protect them. That is some kind of ginger or turmeric down there. The broadleaf with the reddish vein in the middle. I think it's a type of ginger. And I got Cheyenne Mexican sunflower and Katuk all over my garden here. And this happy looking young tree is my carambola, aka starfruit. I'll go over here real quick. Got a mulberry right there. It's pruned and not looking that happy, but it's got a lot of new growth. So the birds will probably get those mulberries before I do, as has been the trend lately. A couple bananas, Namwa doing good here, and some pups coming up. This broadleaf one, my understanding is that is a water sucker, so it will not make as good a tree. So I use the leaves for my rabbits, 2 of whom you can see in there. And then there's a smaller pup down there that has thinner leaves that will make a good tree. And that bed back there is not doing too much right now. And I put some taro over here, but as you can see, they're not looking too happy. Taro like a good, rich soil and a lot of moisture. And it's been another dry week. And over here I have another sweet potato patch. This one wasn't as fertile, so my sweet potatoes in here aren't doing quite as good, but they're doing all right. Also looks like I got some ginger coming up from last year and some happy looking cowpeas. Oh yeah, it looks beautiful. I haven't had breakfast yet. In the back there, you can see a curry leaf tree on the right. Oh, this right here would be a Mamey sapote tree. Came out from seed I bought from the store. My avocado looks miserable again. I don't know why avocado is such a hassle to grow. I treat it with organicide and it looks happy. Then it seems to get infected again. So there must be some information I'm missing. So this bed, I was trying to fight the pickle worms. So what I did was I covered this bed and the squash with a white cloth. And it did protect them from pickleworm. And instead they died from something else. Either lack of water or maybe a mold. What you're supposed to do is cover them in the day or cover them overnight and leave them open in the day. But I have not had the time to do that. So squash still is alive, not eaten by pickleworms yet, but it's not looking too good, so I just took off the cloth. Bunch of acacia here. Last night I used it to make a couple like Y branches that are sitting on top of the firewood pile over there. I'm gonna roast a rabbit over the fire on a stick. I planted a bunch of little papayas, so those will be coming up all over the place. Doing a sort of experiment in this trench, which there is a millet all around. So I cut a ton of grass and just dumped it in here. and planted okra and cowpeas right in the grass. No idea if that's going to work, but if it does, it should add a lot of fertility in here. This is the first trench I dug right here. The mound right next to it is mostly sand and a little bit of fertility and rabbit poop, and then I mulched it. And it's got 6 happy papaya plants, a bunch of cowpeas that are doing pretty good, and some chaya and moringa, and also some African bushel gourds, which the vines look happy. They flower and start producing fruit, but none of the fruit have survived because of the pickleworm, of course. So the pickleworms don't like the leaves of the gourd here, but they do destroy the fruit. So, as of yet, still zero luck growing gourds or squash. There's also some Egyptian spinach, which is, let me show you that real quick. It's a decent green. It's right here. You can tell because it has little whiskers on the base of the leaf. Let's see. Yeah, and it's got a slightly mucilaginous taste, but it's just kind of annoying to harvest. So I think I'll keep it for the animals. I'll be eating amaranth greens and katuk and moringa during the summer. Maybe some sweet potato too. Here we got a cluster of let's see, mulberry, marigold, katuk, and a sticky guava, which was growing wild in Florida at my assistant's ranch. It's got new growth, so I'm hopeful it'll become a nice big tree for me. And then back here, still working on this area. It's got some chaya sticks, some various fruit trees. The mango in the back is not that happy, but it's surviving. And over here, a wild edible yam showed up in my yard. But it kept getting eaten. It would make it about halfway to this pine tree, then something would eat it all the way to the root just about. So I put a little cage around it, and it's coming back happily. So I'm hoping I can get it to that tree somehow, and then I'll have a big giant yam. This black-eyed Susan, I believe that is the state flower of Florida. And it looks like I have some little okra to eat this morning. Okra does pretty well for me so far. That's another little avocado tree over there. And here's my Franken trellis, as I call it. Grew a lot of pole beans here. There's some cowpeas down there. There's a loofah gourd coming up here. I assume the pickleworms will destroy all my fruit for that. And another pole bean looking very happy coming all the way up to the top here. And my persimmons, I got one very sticky right there at the base of the hose, you can see. And then another one also looking very sticky here. So they're growing at least. I don't know how well they're going to do. And then I planted a prickly pear right here in the middle of the walkway, which was about the worst place. Oh well, I'll walk around it. And here's my jackfruit, looking pretty happy. It's got some new growth finally. And got a new variety of chaya with a fatter leaf here. So that'll be interesting to compare with the chaya I typically grow, which is the wilder version. I'll show you that real quick. It has thinner leaves, and it also flowers very, very frequently, and the bees love it. And even though the leaves are skinnier like that, still plenty to eat and very good eating. Just gotta boil it for a few minutes, and it comes out like a hearty collard green kind of dish. Alright, folks, that's all for today.